Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Mirror's Edge Catalyst walkthrough, and we are on the 17th mission. It is called Tickets Please. So this is one of the trickier platforming missions in the game, because it involves using platforming without momentum. And it's kind of counterintuitive to how the game normally asks you to play, and normally demands of you, but once you acknowledge that on these rather precarious platforms, when you hold the right trigger you will dash forward and push yourself off the platform, then you realise the game just wants you to jump from them. It wants you to not hold the boost button, and then it gets a lot easier.
I'm there. Next one.
But the problem is learning that can be quite tricky, because do you see the checkpoint just then? This is where the checkpoint leads to the next tower, and the next tower is the tricky one to climb. And not only is there a traversal sequence here that you're watching, but there's also a fight with some soldiers, and then there is an environmental tower puzzle, which if you die, you go back to the top of that past tower. This is probably one of the worst checkpoints in the game, but if you do the puzzle okay and you never struggle with the notion of platforming on between those panels, you'll never realise that this is as rough as it is. But I was actually watching Rush Hour when I was playing this for the first time, and I fell off a few times, but thankfully Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker were there to stop me from getting frustrated. And the mistake I was making is I was trying to hold the right trigger a lot, because that's what you do in this game, and it actually hurts you here. So you have to acknowledge that if you're going to use momentum, you need to jump early, because if you don't, you're going to just not get your jump. You're going to miss the input, because you're going to be in mid-air, and you cannot jump in mid-air, because this game is not like those platformers that let you do that. So take out these blue dudes with a couple of cheeky kicks and some boosts. Chuck him off the edge, kick him off the edge, whatever you want to do. Mass murder spree and all that. And then this is the tricky one. So what I do is, this is a moving platform that is timed. It's going to go up, it's going to wait, it's going to come down, it's going to wait. I wait so I can see it coming down, and then I turn around, wall run, and jump. And when you step on these, you're going to notice they spark, which means they'll stop moving. So depending on the height that they're on, when you jump on them will depend on where they are. And you'll notice I'm not boosting in these jumps, I'm just standing where I am and I'm jumping forward. And that's the key here, guys. If you don't do this, you can have issues with falling off here, and it can be quite frustrating. This is a bit of a glitch. It put me in a crouch and I couldn't get out of it, and she would not move or jump. And I didn't know what to do, and then it cured itself, and then we could continue. So I don't know what that is. I haven't really had too many bugs in this game, but for some reason it was as if there was a roof above me and she wouldn't move. But it cleared itself up, so it wasn't too bad. And then we can get a checkpoint and we can move to the next tower. But that what you just witnessed is one of the trickier parts of this game, believe it or not. That texture just didn't load, did it? It was one of those lazy ones. But hop over here. There's probably a much better way of getting up this area, because I always climb that pipe. It is the pipe of shame for me. But here is the final one, and this one's a little interesting because you have to pull these panels out for this, as you'll see me mess up just then. Additionally, you don't have to go too high between both of these platforms, because you can jump to the bar. And I actually try and jump for a platform, but I grab the bar, which is pretty hilarious. Because it's just one of those things. I could have saved so much time if I'd have known I could have done it that way, and I didn't. I was just sat there like a Goomba waiting, but lo and behold, you can actually wall run from here and get onto that pipe and then get to the end. But I wait for this platform, pull the platform down, and then I wait again, and all of this time I could have been climbing up and getting this done. So learn from my mistakes, guys. Watch this. Boom. And I'm done. All you have to do is press the bumper to get up and then jump towards this bad boy, and you've done the tricky bit. You know, mission is practically done at this point. The only thing left to do is escape Freddy Krueger's friends, and we're done. So drop down, kick him in the face, kick his buddy in the face. Try and get the soft lock off your character if you can. It's a little bit annoying, but apparently I'm committing to the combat, so we can do that too, and then progress onwards. So this is the same of every time you've done it. Even if you're in the open world, it's always the same. Get out of the circle, avoid the people, or get to one of those safe houses, and it will reset your wanted limit, or whatever you want to call this, your meter of Freddy Krueger's friends. But I'm going to go towards the icon rather than following the waypoint a lot of the times. Here's a nice opportunity to do a good jump. Here's everybody shooting at me with their perfect aim, but they didn't hit me for a change, which is always nice. more shooting. We've got that full focus shield, and if you've been using your upgrades, you've probably got a ton of it to spare. And this is one of the jumps that you can cancel with the door opening animation if you have it, but this door is open, unfortunately, because it saves the state of it, it seems. But this is just running all the way back to that base that got raided earlier, and that's where this mission's going to end. So that was Tickets Please. I hope the video helped you out, and as always, you take care now.